So last summer I offered a course at Britannia and called it food literacy. It was something I thought was a lot of value in that neighborhood. And basically, we came up with a bunch of different topics, and this word map here shows the 23 sections that we covered, one per day. And so I'm a geography major, and this slide just shows where we're located in Vancouver, but what I was trying to do is blend geography with home economics, which is what I want to do in the future with my career. And so Britannia, this is like the heart of community to me. I volunteered here for over a year, and so when it came time to apply for this grant, there was no question this is where I'd want to teach the course. This place is rich in social capital, and this course is something that wasn't offered there yet. When purchasing items, again, a lot of freedom in this. There wasn't one specific place I'd go to, and this food here is bought from the Trout Lake Farmers Market. And this day I was looking at heirloom vegetables, especially all the different types of cucumbers you can see here, even lemon cucumbers, which is a favorite of mine, and the students really liked them as well. And then one day we went on a field trip, and the challenge was I gave them each $5, and I wanted them to buy something for the food bank based on what we learned so far. So it was a bit of a challenge, really, and a bit of a competition between them to see what they could come up with. And then with all the change left over, I bought this bottle of olive oil, and we donated it to the food bank. And so we get together and prepare food. That's obviously the hands-on part. And it was really great to see these students learn from mistakes. So incidentally, this day we were preparing rice, and we had to do our best with what we had. So using a pressure cooker pot, not as a pressure cooker, turned out to be quite the adventure in learning. And then this was by far my most challenging day as a teacher. I was given the task of teaching these students how to develop knife skills. And so a lot of them had honestly never used knives before. And so we met in the morning, and I gave a demonstration, and I tried to set up the room in this manner. And I think we cut 20 different vegetables that day and made a huge colorful stir fry that we shared with others. And it was really great to see how they did. And each day when we had lunch, we'd sit down together. I think I suggested this the first day, but by no means did I ever expect it would go that way. Though that's something that they really loved, and we'd have people join the class and so forth, and it was just an automatic given. And it was just amazing to sit there together and see how quiet the students were. So here we're doing ecological footprint analysis. We had Bill Reese from UBC come to the class and talk about that, and it was a really great way to see the impact that we're all having on the earth. So here's Diane, one of our volunteers. There's 3 people that came from UBC, and she brought her own recipes as well, which I thought was great to give the students a different twist on the things they were learning how to cook. And so with some of the money, we went on field trips, I mentioned before, and here we're at a sushi restaurant on the drive where we had a common meal and shared everything, and students really enjoyed it. And then after sushi, we went to Safeway. This is something I got an idea out of our course book, Food Rules by Michael Pollan. And I had some idea that it would be a good time, but it actually turned to be one of the highlights of the course to give an interpretive tour of this great North American supermarket. One day we had a guest come from Bishop's Restaurant, Avellino, and he brought his recipe as well. This is called punched potato with local salmon, and the students made this, and they were really impressed by what special plating can do to a dish. And this is just showing a few different varieties of beans or peas in a pod, and students were really intrigued to see how much they could learn about the simplest types of food. And then kale chips, something I find is a nice healthy snack, but again, I had no idea how much they would love it. So typical dish drying, I encourage them to not bother drying them with a towel. We just let them drip dry overnight. And it again turned into a bit of a contest to see who could build the most creative castle. So this is a dish we had at a French restaurant we went to. And although it was an amazing experience, the students learned so much about etiquette and fine dining. We even got a tour of the kitchen here, and they got to see the makings of a fancy restaurant. But the next day we made this dish, basically brown rice, lentils, kale, carrots, a little garam masala, and coconut milk. Came out to less than 50 cents a portion, and I honestly think they loved it just as much. And so we shared that meal with here the Kettle Friendship Society. So this is located across the street. And the first day of the course, I realized we're going to have leftovers, and it was a good thing to be able to prepare more food. And so Kettle Friendship Society gladly received our food donations every day. So much, in fact, that the students really wanted to go visit there themselves, and it became a really strong part of the course. And so with the Kettle Friendship Society, it created this cycle of empowerment and of community. And so with the grant, I was given money and resources to offer this course. And so then I empowered the students with knowledge and with the ingredients to prepare food and so forth. And then they would bring that food to Kettle Friendship Society and feed people in the community. And really, it kept moving, because when they go to Kettle Friendship Society, we give them motivation, which would motivate me, and it was a really great model. And this is me trying to make bubble tea. I realized that it's actually supposed to look completely clear when they're cooked, and my students thankfully taught me this lesson. We went on a picnic when we went to UBC Farm for our tour, and made brown bag lunch for everyone and sat in the field. And it was just one indication of how close the students felt amongst themselves. There was different groups of friendships, and how we interconnected with members of the community. The last day of the course, the students were given $12 this time to buy food for the food bank. And it was really cool to see how much they had learned over the course. Their choices were a little more, nutritious, and they were able to buy more items with this certain amount of money. And when we brought it to the food bank, I could just see on their faces how good they felt to do this thing. And so right after that, we went to the park and had a picnic again, and had a reflection about what the course meant to them. And when I asked the students to help me write thank you cards to all the people that helped with the course, they said, "Is that the least we could do?" And so I was really grateful that they got as much out of the course as I did, if not more. I was really grateful to donations from different members of the community. So this here is cheese donated by Choices. So thanks to the Vancouver Public Library, I was able to take out, I believe, 50 different books that we referred to throughout the course. And that's it. That's what I did last summer with my Chapman grant. Chose this picture because it shows where I'd sit at my desk and wait for the students to arrive. And I can honestly say it was the best experience I've had at UBC.